influencers who believed in him and those who stood in his way. The sum total of all these influences notwithstanding, history will find it rather incredible that a high school physics teacher would make this remarkable journey, which would not just see him rise to the highest office in the nation once, but twice. The job as a leader of a nation is not easy. Leading a nation just 4 years after independence must have been even more challenging. For sure, our second Prime Minister on occasions may have longed for those heady days teaching science at St. John's College. Perhaps there were days when he may have even asked himself, what could have motivated him to leave the formation of young men for the often turbulence of political leadership and the task of national government. Yet Prime Minister Esquivel stepped boldly on this path, facing challenges that were not easy. He made decisions, some politically detrimental, which had to be made for a greater good. He gave of himself with diligence, intelligence, and with steadfast devotion to the task of Belize's national development. Every day, the office of the Prime Minister presents challenges that can wear a person down and require a steady hand and a conscience of your convictions. I want to believe his wife and partner, Lady Cathy, and his 3 children help him through those turbulent moments. For sure, no one can question the resolve of Sir Manuel or his dedication to the task and his desire to complete and accomplish the things he believed were good for Belize. My generation will not soon forget that on the day of his first road traffic accident, the Prime Minister first saw to the needs of his driver and continued to the National Assembly. Bruised and shaken, he proceeded to present the national budget. We will also not forget his conviction, which was on full display in 1992, when he went against some of his own political colleagues and joined Prime Minister Price in signing a letter to the President of Guatemala, assuring him that the Maritime Areas Bill would be approved in the National Assembly. This action, in part, resulted in Guatemala for the first time recognizing the independent state of Belize. As former Prime Minister Dean Barrow pointed out, Sir Manuel's contribution did not end after he retired as a political candidate. He kept contributing by serving the Barrow administration as a senior advisor in the office of the Prime Minister for far less than minimum wage. I think it was $10, right? $1. And he had to do that so that he could be legally employed by the government. A man that was not wealthy and could have shortly done with the extra money he signed up for $1. That fully describes the person that Manuel Esquivel was all about, that he was about service to people and to country. The enduring lesson of Sir Manuel's public life can be summed up like this. He was a Prime Minister who led our nation his way, with integrity and determination, never compromising who he was. The scientist who turned politician, and the politician who put duty before expediency. A Prime Minister who I believe was convinced that what he did was what he sincerely believed needed to be done for the development of the nation and people. Today, his family and friends are allowing us to share this moment together and to remember Sir Manuel's life, not only as a Prime Minister, but as a man who made good things happen, a man who loved music, and a man who truly believed in Belize. To family and loved ones, I say on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, Prime Minister Briceño. From all we have heard of Sir Manuel over the last few days, and especially in these remembrances, it seems obvious that this good man did his fair share and more for Belize. As we come to the close of the musical portion of this afternoon's State Memorial Service, I would like to thank you all for sharing your time with us in this remembrance ceremony for the late Right Honorable Sir Dr. Manuel Esquivel. This does bring us to the close of the musical portion of this afternoon's program. And we thank you all for making the time to attend. To our guests here in attendance, there is a gift of Belizean sweets that Sir Manuel and his family enjoyed, and they will be offered to you as a gift. In this gift is a memento that has two quotes on it that were favorites of the late Right Honorable Sir Dr. Manuel Esquivel, one of which is from John Stewart. And it reads, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing," by John Stuart Mill. Thank you all again for attending. We now hand over the broadcast of this afternoon to Mr. Dale McDougall and Mr. Jules Vasquez to carry on for the official military order of events.
Master of Ceremonies on this occasion, Dale McDougall here, bringing to you the remainder of today's event. We've heard the remembrances from former Prime Minister Dean Barrow. We've heard the family remembrance by Sir Manuel's son David Esquivel, and we've heard from Prime Minister the Honorable John Briceño. So now we'll turn it over to the military part, where there has been the march on of the Guard of Honor, and now the playing of the national anthem and the 21-gun salute. The cannons here will be firing the 21 shots into the Caribbean Sea to pay homage to the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Sir Dr. Manuel Esquivel. All of this is happening here on the grounds of the Government House in Belize City. After the 21-gun salute, of course, by the Belize Defense Force, there will be the last post, and then there will be a segment of silence, 2 minutes of silence, followed by the reveille, and then the placing of wreaths by government officials. The flag, the national flag, will be presented to the chief mourner, Lady Esquivel, on this occasion. Then that signals the departure of the officials, and then, of course, the march off by the Belize Defense Force. Again, you're watching or listening to a live broadcast of the two-day event, the State Memorial for the Right Honorable Dr. Sir Manuel Amadeo Esquivel, KCMG PC. KCMG, of course, means that he's a Knight Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, and PC because he's a member of the Privy Council after having been bestowed the title of Right Honorable during his term in office, which spanned from 1984 to 1989, and on a second occasion from 1993 to 1998. Sir Manuel Esquivel, of course, in that second administration, led a coalition government which comprised of the United Democratic Party and the National Alliance for Belizean Rights on that second occasion. After retiring from political life in 1998, He passed on the reins of the United Democratic Party to his deputy in the second administration, former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dean Barrow, who himself demitted office in 2020. Sir Manuel's contribution has been underscored in a number of instances throughout the 2 days of this broadcast. 2 days of remembering him for his contributions, his steady hand during some turbulent times in Belize's history, and the decisions that he and his administrations have made still continue to have a lasting impact on Belizean society. And again, the music is being furnished by the Belize Defense Force Band. The military music, of course, you're hearing in the background is the Esprit de Corps. Today's band is the Belize Defense Force that has evolved from an all-volunteer band to a military band with a mandate to establish a full-time military unit within the Belize Defense Force. So the program of music that you've been hearing throughout the course of yesterday and today includes the Prime Minister's Salute, which is the first 4 measures or bars of the Belize National Anthem, Chopin's Funeral March, Homeland by the Sea, the Military Escort, the BDF Quick, and Gallant Marches. The Band of the Belize Defense Force policies designed by the Ministry of Defense and Border Patrol in the nation's capital, Belmopan. Daily management done by the Force's Bandmaster, Staff Sergeant Trevor Major. The administration is responsibility of the Director of Music, Captain Kevin Campbell. Again, this is the second day of the 2-day state memorial for the Right Honorable Dr. Sir Manuel Esquivel, KCMG PC, who served as Prime Minister on 2 occasions in our post-independence history. As we mentioned, he died on February the 10th at age 81. At this time, we have a moment of silence. And to conclude now the 2-minute period of silence, here now is the Reveille by the Belize Defense Force Band. And now at this time, we have the placing of the wreaths by government officials.
Please, you can all sit.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing now is the portion of this national transmission of the placing of the wreaths here on the grounds of the government house in Belize City. The placing of the wreaths by government officials, the first of which, of course, is the nation's head of state, Her Excellency Froila Salam, the Governor General of Belize. And now the nation's head of government will be placing a wreath. The Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable John Briceño, who's also the Minister of Finance and Economic Development. Following the Prime Minister is the Leader of the Opposition in the House of Representatives. In this case, it's the Honorable Moses Shine Barrow, the area representative for the Mesopotamia constituency. Again, this is a part of the placing of the wreaths by the nation's leading government officials. Following the Leader of the Opposition, we now turn our attention to the chief mourner on this occasion, Lady Esquivel, the wife of the late Right Honorable Sir Dr. Manuel Esquivel. Again, supporting her on this occasion is her aide-de-camp, Major Megan Aspinall of the Belize Defense Force. And Lady Esquivel, of course, is being supported by her children, David, Laura, and Ruth. And now the national flag will be presented to the chief mourner, Lady Esquivel, by the Governor General of Belize, Her Excellency Froila Salam. Her Excellency Froila Salam, of course, is the third Governor General in Belize's post-independence history, the second woman to ascend to the post, and this is the state memorial marking the end of 2 days of official mourning, the period of mourning for Prime Minister Right Honorable Dr. Sir Manuel Esquivel. And at this time, we begin with the departures of the leading government officials, beginning with Her Excellency Froila Salam, the Governor General of Belize. Following the departure of Her Excellency Froila Salam, we now have the departure of the Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable John Briceño. Following the Prime Minister will be the Chief Justice, Acting Chief Justice, the Honorable Michelle Arana, and thereafter the Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Moses Shine Barrow. And that signals we're just about to end this afternoon's presentation and officially marking the end of the period of mourning for the former two-term Prime Minister of Belize. And we have the march off now by the Belize Defense Force. And we have just witnessed and listened to history, ladies and gentlemen, because on this occasion there were not any religious rites, but rather a more secular service, a state memorial for the Right Honorable Sir Manuel Esquivel. Secular music, classical and Belizean mix, and modern contemporary music. The fact that there was not on a body that was in state, but instead an urn, because Sir Manuel had wished to be cremated. Again, the former Prime Minister died on Thursday, the 10th of February 2022 at age 81. He leaves behind, of course, his wife, the chief mourner in this case, Lady Esquivel, and their children, David, Laura, and Ruth, and a total of 8 grandchildren. A number of extended family and friends, of course. And again, this presentation of the 2-day state memorial for the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Sir Dr. Manuel Esquivel, was a collaboration of the Government Press Office, the organizations Love FM and Love Television, Channel 7 and Channel 5, and it has since been rebroadcast by a number of other media organizations across the country. You've also listened to this on national frequencies on radio, and you can also find it on Facebook and on YouTube. And the protocol is so now the urn is being taken off the pall and being carried by the Belize Defense Force. And again, just to quickly recap for you, the state memorial furnished by members of the Belize Defense Force. The funeral director on this occasion is Warrant Officer Class 2 Dalton Morgan, who is the Regimental Sergeant Major for the 1st Infantry Battalion. The urn party, as you can see on your television screens, is Major Ruben Kowo. And as the urn is being escorted, you heard the Prime Minister's salute, the first 4 bars of the national anthem. Escorts to the urn are Captain Jairo Che and Captain Galen Roberto. The cushion escort is Captain Adrian Bosch. Sword Party Commander, Captain Elmer Mo. Firing Party Commander, Staff Sergeant Gladstone Palacio. As we mentioned earlier, the aide-de-camp for the chief mourner is Major Megan Aspinall. The state memorial, of course, is being facilitated by the Force Sergeant Major Warrant Officer Class 1, Wilfredo Mahano. And while the urn is being transported now via a slow march of the urn party, we have, of course, Lady Cathy Esquivel, who is being escorted by her aide-de-camp. As we were mentioned at the end of the program, Lady Esquivel received the national flag on this occasion. Again, she's being supported by her children, David, Laura, and Ruth. And Lady Esquivel is being greeted by supporters and those who send her condolences to her on this occasion. And of course, Sir Manuel's grandchildren are here also on this occasion. We say thank you so much for having joined us for the last 2 days, marking this very historic, very important time in Belizean history where we're laying to rest the nation's second Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Sir Dr. Manuel Esquivel. As individuals are now filing out from under the tent here at the Government House in Belize City, we say thank you again for having joined us for this broadcast. It has been my pleasure, along with Jules Vasquez, helping you to navigate through this entire 2-day festivities. And as you see, we conclude our program with Lady Esquivel being escorted off the compound by her aide-de-camp, Major Megan Aspinall. So on behalf of all of us here, Love FM, Channel 7, Channel 5, and all those who have rebroadcasted the event, and of course our friends at the press office who facilitated this broadcast, we say thank you so much for having joined us on this Wednesday.